Hi there, my name is Rishi Nalam, and in today's video, we're going to be creating a Python program that allows us to scrape NPR News' headlines and print it out to us in the terminal line. So in order to create this program, first you need to do pip install requests. So as you can see over here, I already have the requirement satisfied. Following that, you need to pip install bs4, which is beautiful soup. And as you can see here, I've already have the requirement satisfied. Following that, here I've already created a function which is called scrape headlines, and I'm calling that function if main, and if name is equal to main, then we have to scrape the headlines. So basically what requests is for is that this allows us to import the request library, which allows us to send HTTP requests to website. Following that, bs4 import beautiful soup allows us to parse and navigate the HTML content of web pages. So now under the scrape headlines function, you need to copy paste the following. First of which is the URL of the NPR section news. And under that, we're also going to be copy pasting the header. So this is basically a dictionary that tells us the website that the request is coming from web browsers, which helps us prevent the request from being blocked. So as you can see over here, it's user agent, and then here I've typed the following. And I'm going to be including a copy pasted version in the description so that you can quickly copy paste it. Now following that, now we're going to be creating a response where we're going to create requests.get. We're going to get the URL as well as the headers is equal to headers. Now following that, we're going to check if the response from the server is successful. So in order to do this, we have to do if response dot status code. So if the status code is equal to 200, then we will know that the server is successful, that we can reach the server successfully. So now following that, we can do soup is equal to beautiful soup, and in here we're just going to do response.text comma html.parser. So this basically allows us to navigate and search the HTML structure. So now we're going to be finding the headline elements on the NPR news section page. So in order to do that, we have to do headlines is equal to soup dot find all, and then here we're going to be finding all the h2 tags elements in the parsed HTML and store them in the headlines. So in order to do that, we're just going to do in parentheses, in quotes I mean, the h2, and then the class that we're going to be looking for is title. So class underscore is equal to title. Now following that, we're just going to be printing out our input to the user. So every time we get like a new headline, then we're just going to be printing out the NPR news headlines. Now following that, we're just going to go through each of the responses that we got in headlines. So then for I in headlines, we're going to enumerate, which allows us to like iterate through each of the headlines that we've received over here. And in this enumerate, we just go through the headlines, and then we're going to, once we iterate the headlines, we're just going to be starting from 1. Now following that, we're just going to print out whatever we got back to the user. So in order to do that, we just do print and do a formatted string where we print out the index of the headline, and then we're just going to print the headline itself. So headline.get text, and then we're going to see that strip is equal to true. So this basically just allows us to find the headline that we have initialized over here, and then this will allow us to just print out each of the headlines into our terminal. Now following that, if it is not successful, then we just print back to the user that this has failed. So failed to retrieve the page, and then we're just going to give the status code error. So here we're just going to do in curly braces, we're just going to say response.statuscode, and now we're just going to print the so this is just a failsafe where in case there is an error, the program just doesn't crash. So now we're completely done with the program, as you can see over here, and now it's time to run it. So here I'm just going to click Python debugger and Python file, and I'm going to be running the program over here. So I've noticed that there is an error. So then in here in response.text there is supposed to be a comma, and now all the errors are gone. And for some of you, you might see that there might be an exception error where there's no modules found requests. So in order to do this, you just need to Command Shift P on Mac. I believe it is Control Shift P on Windows. And then you click on Python, and then here, and then following that, you need to scroll down and look for Select Interpreter. So what I've noticed is that when you select interpreter, then it'll work best with Python 3.10.9 base conda. So once I click that, we can see that all of the errors are gone. And now once we save our program and run and debug once again. So the error that was being caused was that here it's supposed to be spelled headline, and then over here it's supposed to be spelled headlines, and as well as over here. And then I believe it's supposed to be the same over, so it's not supposed to be the same over here as we're iterating through the headlines. So now if we restart the program, then we'll see that, as you can see in the terminal below. So let me pull this up. Now we can successfully see that all the NPR headlines were number 1. It says, first look at photos from Paris Olympics opening ceremony, and we can see the other 10 headlines. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the